Friendship is hard, right? But what if I told you in just 3 easy steps, you can ruin any friendship you want, whether you're aiming to lose every friend you've got or just to alienate a select few that really care for you and want the best for you? I've got you covered. Step 1. Act emotionally. If something makes you mad, sad, frustrated, confused, be sure to act as quickly as possible and as emotionally as possible. Because friendship should be about making the other person feel good all the time. If someone's making you feel bad, whether it's with good intentions or not, it doesn't matter. They made you feel bad. So be sure to let them know how they messed up and how they've cost you time and energy. Be sure to lash out more often. For instance, explode over misunderstandings or jump to conclusions to make it easier. If you sense something's bad or it makes you feel bad, you have permission to act however you want to. Friends shouldn't make you feel bad. Step 2. Don't stand up for them. The most important thing on earth is your image and how other people perceive you. So don't jeopardize that because someone else is feeling sad or they need your support or the rest of the friends group is being nasty to them. If you stick up for them, you might be outcast as well. And that is beyond awful. Can you imagine sticking up for someone and doing the right thing? It could cost you all of your friendships, apart from one. And that one friendship might be strong and built on good values and healthy boundaries and supporting each other, but that's just one friend. Would you rather not have the whole friends group? That could be 10, 15, 20 or more people. Don't jeopardize all that for one person. A couple examples would be to stay silent in their times of need. Don't defend them whether they're there or not there while these friends talk about them and say nasty things about them. Or if they are there and they are speaking up for themselves, even if they are so far in the right, don't join them and make them a larger group, because you'll still be in the minority if it's just the two of you. And it's so easy to outcast two people. Don't stick up for people. Yeah, just go with whatever the majority decide, whether you think it's right or wrong. You want us to have as many friends as possible, regardless of how shallow those relationships are. Step 3, don't call them out and punish them if they call you out. The last ingredient of a awful, toxic, unhealthy relationship is to never hold each other accountable. Let your friend do and say whatever they think and don't call them out on it. Don't confront them, because confrontation is awkward. It's anger-inducing. It can make the other person sad and it can make you sad. That's not what friendships are about. You should want to be as happy as you can whenever you're around this person. Don't forget it. That is what all healthy relationships are built on, whether friendships or romantic partners. You should never want to feel bad. You should never be called out for doing something wrong. You should just feel good, and it should be the other person's intentions to help you feel as good as you can all the time. So don't settle for anything less. If they call you out, be sure to humiliate them as best you can. Bring up all of their past mistakes to move away from the fact that you've made a mistake, or insult them baselessly if you have to. Whatever you can to discredit and make them seem like a fool, the better. Because the less eyes are on you, the more likely you are to remain in the group. And this person that you ridicule and make fun of or bring up past mistakes, you can avoid accountability and they will be more likely to be shunned out of the group. And you can remain with your 20 shallow friends, while this person who actually wanted best for you and wanted to see you do the right thing will slowly be forgotten about. And that's great, actually. That's so much easier. That is so much easier than being held accountable and changing. Because changing takes effort. For you to input effort doesn't mean you'll necessarily be happy the whole time. So no way should you have to do that. Effort is exhausting and it won't make you happy. So don't bother putting in effort to change or grow or strengthen relationships. Just do the bare minimum. Oh, one final point. If you want to make it as unhealthy as possible, be sure to let this person do bad things in front of you and don't call them out for it. But then make a log of all the bad things that they've done or mistakes that they've made, and be sure to tell other people about it. Gossip is the key to unhealthy relationships. So gossip as much as you can, because remember, the more bad things you say about other people, the better you seem in comparison without actually having to do any work to make yourself better. So the more you can discredit and insult and embarrass someone, the better you look. Those are my 3 steps for having as many unhealthy relationships as you can, and how to push away anyone that actually cares about you and wants you to do better and would be a good addition to your life. Now, if that doesn't sound appealing to you, and you want good friends and healthy relationships, and a small number of people you can rely on and they can rely on you, I'd do everything you can to avoid those steps. And I would do everything you can to avoid people who follow those steps, 1 or all 3, and especially if they continually do these steps. Doing step 1 over and over and over for years is just as bad as doing all 3 steps. If you want a healthy relationship, it probably won't happen with someone who follows these steps. You can call them out for it, but if they don't respond in a way that shows that there's even a glimpse that they want to be better, it's probably best to move on. Remember, having 2 to 4 friends that you have a strong connection with, that you can rely on, you can be vulnerable and honest with, and they can be vulnerable and honest with you, is far more valuable than a million friends who like your Instagram posts but won't be there when you need them. To summarize the healthy and better alternatives, you should gather as much information from friends and hear their intentions before acting out. People can make mistakes, but their intentions can be good. So just because someone's upset you doesn't mean they were trying to. Or maybe someone has upset you, but it's for your own good. Being told that you shouldn't treat someone like that, or you shouldn't say those kind of things, can be like, whoa, that's a shock to my system. I've always done this. But someone who calls you out for that kind of thing is far more valuable than someone who doesn't. 10 friends that don't. 20 friends that let you get away with acting wrong and doing wrong. You should want to stick up for the people who can't stick up for themselves, whether they're afraid to, not there to defend themselves, or trying to defend themselves, but are so outnumbered their words and actions are lost. Sometimes people will try and do the right thing, but be discredited and insulted for doing that because the majority is too afraid to, or don't want to, or are so set in their ways that they won't. It's very important to stick up for people that want to do the right thing, or join people who want to do the right thing, because unfortunately, some people who are less confident will be coerced into doing the wrong thing. Now, some people who truly, truly believe in what they do and that they're doing the right thing won't. But it's very important to keep supporting people who do the right thing, because they will support you when you do the right thing. And then you can support more people that do the right thing until we've cultivated a new society that pushes people to do the right thing and truly punishes people for doing bad things, because not every bad thing is a crime. Speaking negatively about someone is not a crime, but that doesn't mean it's good. So don't let people that are doing the right thing be outnumbered. Be honest and tell them when they're wrong. It's easy to congratulate when they're right, but it's even easier to be silent when they're wrong. Hold your friends accountable. Don't excuse poor or bad behavior, because when you become an adult, your parents aren't going to give you groundings for being dumb and stupid and bad, but it's very much important to hold people you care about accountable, to maintain good values, to maintain good thoughts and good actions. I would much prefer to be held accountable, and this is my next step. Be open to hearing criticism from the people that are close and care about you. I have maybe 2 people I can truly be honest and vulnerable with, and that's probably good. It's important to not be vulnerable and honest with everyone. Maybe you won't select Maybe your life will select who you're close with and who you're open with. But don't challenge that. If you feel strongly aligned with somebody, be honest and vulnerable. If they are honest and vulnerable, and sometimes you have to take the first step and be honest and vulnerable, and that's enough to form a great bond. But if someone shames you for being honest and vulnerable, they're not your friend. If someone laughs at you for being honest and vulnerable, they are not your friend. Your current friends may be confused when you change or call them out for doing bad things. Or they'll be confused when you stop indulging in their bad acts and speech and thoughts. And that's perfectly normal. But you are allowed to change. I'll say that again. You are allowed to change. I have been shamed for changing. But if no one ever changed, the world would never get better. The right thing would happen less and less. Because no one wants to be out there. Nobody wants to be confident. Well, we want to be confident, but we don't want to put in the work to be confident. We don't want to put in our lives on the line for somebody else, or something with a greater purpose than ourselves. But if no one changed, we'd all be 13-year-olds trapped in adult bodies, being nasty, cruel, and just downright disrespectful to each other. We'd all be so unhappy. If you can navigate change and personal growth and find a couple people that will do that with you, you can hold each other accountable. You can be honest when you're struggling. You can be vulnerable and tell people when you're struggling and when you need help, and they don't make you feel bad for it. Those are the people that you want in your life. The people I want in my life. And it's time to start cutting out people that don't. You don't have to be anyone that you don't want to be. And oftentimes, if you're surrounded by bad friends or people that do bad things, you probably know deep down that's not who you want to be. I'm going to steal a quote from one of my previous videos, but I think it's relevant. You have no obligation to be who you were 5 minutes ago. That was by Alan Watts. Just because you've done something your whole life, if you decide today that you don't want to do it, that's perfectly fine. That's good even. It shows that you're developing and growing. So, if you've known people for 2 years and you've indulged in something bad that you know is bad, you can stop today. You don't have to feel bad for changing on your friends. Loyalty isn't sticking with someone while they're doing bad things and not calling them out on it. Loyalty is calling someone out on it when they do bad things and falling out over it, but staying together. And then calling them out again and being called out over and over and over. Because you'll never be perfect, you'll never do good all the time, but we can try. I'm going to try. I hope you try. I'm going to make sure the people that I hold close and deeply care for try their best. And I hope that they try their best to make sure I do mine. So yeah, comment if you disagree. Comment if you agree. I appreciate it all. Try your best. Go and upset some people that you've known for a while but aren't really your friends. Good luck.